I recently learned that an ex-girlfriend of mine is now a nun. And I realize that I'm dressed like trench coat Jesus right now. But it wasn't even Elliot, boyfriend, nun. It was just Elliot, nun. She just walked straight out of the relationship into the clergy. And I was thinking, how awful a person do I have to be to make a beautiful, intelligent young woman take a vow of chastity and poverty just to avoid my drunken texts? But then I thought, don't worry about it, Elliot. Maybe, after you, there is only God. Here's a question for you guys. Are Jewish people God hipsters? Like, do they run into a Christian and they're like, oh, you're into Jesus, the Coldplay of deities? I'm into Jehovah when God was still punk rock. I have an interesting relationship with my mother. I was at work one day and she sent me a text message that read, "I've buried the body."
What?
Now what? And I was like, nope, not gonna deal with that. I'm gonna go back to doing whatever stupid things I'm supposed to do. Until I talked to a friend of mine, and she was like, you should really talk to your mother about this. And I was like, you're right, I should really talk to my mother about it. And I called my mother up, and I asked her about it, but very respectfully. Because A, she's my mother, and she deserves respect. B, she could be a murderer, so she definitely deserves respect. And I'm going like, hey Mom, so what's up with that text that you sent? And she says, you weren't supposed to see that. And she hangs up the phone. I was like, oh, shit just got real, you guys. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to fly back to Southern California, burn down my childhood home, because I've seen CSI. If there's any evidence at all, they'll convict her. And we're gonna have to go down to Mexico and start our lives over as La Rosas. But before I'm about to buy the plane tickets, I call my mother up one last time, and I was like, hey Mom, you've really got to tell me what's going on with that text message, because I'm about to make some life-altering decisions based on it. And she goes, nobody believed me when I told them that I could do it. And they pushed me, and they pushed me, and they pushed me. But I showed them, and I showed you, that I can play a practical joke. And she hung up the phone again. Oh, man. Hey, guys, remember when your mom convinced you she killed a guy? As I mentioned a little bit earlier, I spent a lot of my childhood in Southern California, and when I moved up to Washington, I had never seen anti-hitchhiking signs. Have you guys seen that? Yeah, like from Olympia to Tacoma, there's signs that look like this with an X through it. And like when I first saw that, I was like, honest to God, I thought, is Washington State anti-thumbs up? Like, do they not like good times here? Because if that's the case, we're gonna get along just fine, Washington. If I look familiar to you guys, that's because I've been on television. I have been. I was on the Comedians of Comedy with Zach Galifianakis, Patton Oswalt, and Sarah Silverman. I was in the audience. And I didn't realize I was on TV until my buddy called me up. He's like, oh my God, El, you were on TV, buddy. And I was like, really? Was it awesome? And he goes, you'll see. And so I'm watching a rerun of the Comedians of Comedy, and Sarah Silverman comes up, and her very first joke is, boy, there sure are a lot of dorks in the audience. Cut to my face! Oh, and the worst thing is I looked so excited about it. I was like, she's talking about us guys, Dork 5. Here's the thing. here's the thing. I did not see Sarah Silverman perform that night. She performed the night after I was there. So what that means is when they were putting the show together, they were like, hey, Sarah's got this great joke about dorks. Who's the biggest dork in the audience? This guy right here. Thank you so much.